Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's block is called Double X block number 2. So I have the white one here. So for this we're going to need, let me move this to the side. For this we're going to need, now I already made up the black blocks, but out of the black or white or whatever color you're choosing, you're going to need 2 5-inch squares. Then you're going to need, excuse me, one, so that will be fabric A, 2 5-inch blocks. Fabric B is 1 4.5-inch block. Fabric C is 1 5-inch block. And fabric D is 2 4.5-inch blocks. I got 2 there. And again, I already did the half square triangles. So you'll need 3 5-inch blocks of that. And here they are. So this is 2 of these and my 2 black ones. But we're going to do this one. You're going to take your other D piece and your C piece, and we're going to turn it into half square triangles, as well as your other 2 D's and your 2 A's, which are here. We're just going to slide this out of the way. Now, I'm doing half square triangles differently these days because of this pattern or these instructions. So I'm going to cut it down the middle. And we're just going to sew a scant 1/4 inch. Now, I could just have drawn the lines and sewn a little bit in, but we're doing it this way anyway for this tutorial, this project. We're going to go over and we're going to sew these up. And I do have other projects instead of my enders and starters. I'm going to just sew another one through, so you'll see that, but it won't be part of this. But you'll see that one at a later time. I'm just getting prepared on it. Grab my other one. And I'm just going to pull one of these. These are also half square triangles. They're a bit bigger. But I need to get them sewn, so I'm just going to do it here. You'll see a few throughout this as I'm changing my pieces and ironing them and stuff. But this is all you'll see of them in this. Let's cut these other 2 off. Come back over here. We'll iron them open. This is for the other project. We're just going to lay it to the side somewhere. And then we're going to iron these open. And it doesn't matter which side you iron them to. I ironed everything to this light pink plaid one, so I'm just going to do that on these also. And then we're going to trim them down to 4.5. We're going to line up the diagonal all the way down and then trim off the extra. Then we're going to spin it around. Well, now we're going to line up the diagonal and the 4.5-inch point at the bottom. And that'll line up our 2 sidelines. And then let's do the last one. Again, we're just going to line up the diagonal. Seems like a bit much, I don't know. I'm going to spin it around. And line up the diagonal and the 4.5 point. Get those out of the way. And now all our pieces are made. So you would have made 6 half square triangles. We did not. All right, so now we're going to lay it out. We're going to start with the middle piece, and then we'll lay our half square triangles we just made, and they're going to, the one that you only needed one of, which was, where's my little card? C. Your C fabric's going to point in towards the middle on both of them. Then your plain fabric, your plain square, is going to go on the opposite corners. Then you'll lay your black ones facing in, or white, or whichever one you're doing. So there it is. Comes together pretty fast. Now we'll just sew up our blocks into rows, and then we'll be back to sew our rows into the block. Also, I think in the last video I misspoke. I said we were more than halfway done, but the last video was exactly halfway. So this will make us more than halfway done. So yay. And I'm just folding the middle one on top of the left one and pulling it over here. Then I'll switch back around here and cut off the first row and sew the left one to the middle one on the opposite side. Cut that off, we'll use it later. So in the middle one, you'll remember, was already a half square triangle. So we're just going to pull this over and sew it on exactly how it was laying there. Then we'll do it with the next row and then the one after that. And you'll make sure your black ones are facing your middle block. There's only one middle. And last one. And the black was the middle one, so you're going to just sew this to that. And this one doesn't matter because it's just a solid square. Alright, now these pieces will be smaller in the future. I just need to get these big ones done. So we're going to go ahead and sew it. I do most of the bigger blocks when I do my practice ones, my practice blocks before I film, but I had a few left over, so I decided just to do them here. Alright, so we're going to iron the top and the bottom outside, just like always. And you'll know the top from the bottom, or the top and bottom from the middle, because the middle has the bright block in it. I may have not had enough contrast between these two, but I already did it, so I'm committed to it now. And it'll be alright. I'm sure if anybody comes over and says, oh, you didn't do that right, I'm gonna say, maybe you can do better. Actually, I probably wouldn't say that. Well, I might. I don't know. Sometimes I'm lippy. So when you lay it out, you're going to want your two black pieces, the points touching. So if I did it like this, I'd know it was wrong. However, play with it. You might like it a different way. I mean, it wouldn't be the block we're teaching, but who cares? It's your block. So I'm just going to pin the top to the middle at both the seams, and then the beginning and the end. And then I'll open it up and pin the bottom part to it also. Again, we know that's the middle and that's where we want to pin it because it's the different block. Well, I know because I have a picture right here beside me. You're probably watching the video as you do it, so you might too. Well, you might not be. I don't know how you sew. Maybe you're just listening, and maybe you'll make it later. Let me know. So now we're just going to sew this up. I have one more of the other ones I'm going to sew in through it, and then we'll sew the second half, and we'll see how it looks. Remove that and this while we're at it. Alright, we're going to cut it off and sew the other side. And then we're done. Oh, I don't have another one ready to go. Oh well. I guess I wasn't as prepared for that as I thought. I almost did it great. But I had to use an ender. Alright. We're going to iron it to the top and the bottom. Let's turn this. I have the bigger pressing mat, but it doesn't fit in here in my filming space very well. So, you know, I like the black on this. I do think I didn't have enough contrast there, but you know, whatever. So there it is. Now where's my little card? On the floor. There it is. It's called Double X Block Number 2. Again, A was my black, and I had 2 5-inch squares. B was my middle, and it was one 4.5-inch square. C was this one, and I had one 5-inch square. C was this one, and I had one 5-inch square. And D was my pink plaid here, and I had 2 4.5-inch squares on the corners there, and 3 5-inch squares that were all my half square triangles. So there it is. I hope you make it and love it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.